What if the air you breathe every day was slowly destroying your health? Air pollution is one of the deadliest environmental threats of our time. Millions of people die prematurely every year because of polluted air. Welcome to Green Earth VN, a channel where we uncover environmental truths to protect our planet and our future. In today's video, we will explore the top 10 most polluted cities in the world. This ranking is based on long-term air quality data, especially PM2. 5 levels, combined with industrial activity, traffic emissions, and population exposure. 10. Mexico City, Mexico. Our countdown begins with one of the largest megacities in the Western Hemisphere, Mexico City, home to over 22 million people in its greater metropolitan area. This sprawling urban center is a vibrant hub of culture and commerce. However, its unique geography makes it a natural basin for air pollutants. Surrounded by towering mountains on 3 sides, the city's air circulation is severely restricted. This geological feature acts like a bow, trapping pollutants and preventing them from dispersing, leading to the formation of thick, persistent smog. The primary sources of this pollution are the millions of vehicles that clog its streets daily, and the numerous industrial facilities operating within and around the city limits. Emissions from cars, buses, and factories release a cocktail of harmful substances, including particulate matter, nitrogen oxides, and volatile organic compounds, into the air. In Mexico City, geography itself becomes an enemy. Polluted air gets trapped, creating dangerous smog levels that pose a significant health risk to its residents, exacerbating respiratory conditions and contributing to a range of other health problems. The government has implemented various measures over the years, such as driving restrictions and improved fuel standards, but the challenge of providing clean air for millions remains a formidable one. 9. Cairo, Egypt. Next, we journey to the ancient and bustling capital of Egypt, Cairo. Here, the air quality is a complex and hazardous mixture of natural and man-made pollutants. The city's location on the edge of a vast desert means that sand and dust particles are a constant feature of the atmosphere, particularly during seasonal sandstorms known as Khamsin. This natural particulate matter is then compounded by a relentless barrage of urban pollution. Cairo's streets are choked with traffic, and many of the vehicles are older models that lack modern emission control technologies. This heavy traffic releases vast quantities of pollutants directly at street level. Adding to this toxic brew is the widespread practice of open waste burning, both within the city and in its surrounding agricultural areas. This uncontrolled combustion releases a thick, black smoke laden with carcinogens and other harmful chemicals. Furthermore, industrial pollution from factories and workshops contributes significantly to the problem. The most infamous result of this combination is the seasonal black cloud, a thick layer of smog that descends upon the city, primarily in the autumn, severely reducing visibility and causing a spike in respiratory illnesses. Cairo's air pollution is a toxic mix of dust, smoke, and modern urban life, creating a daily health challenge for its more than 20 million inhabitants. 8. Jakarta, Indonesia. Our 8th city is the rapidly expanding megacity of Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. As one of the world's most populous urban areas, Jakarta faces a daunting array of environmental challenges, with air pollution being one of the most pressing. The city's notorious traffic congestion is a primary culprit. Endless streams of cars and motorcycles crawl through the streets, idling for hours and pumping a continuous flow of exhaust fumes into the air. This vehicular pollution is a major source of fine particulate matter, or PM2.5, which can penetrate deep into the lungs and bloodstream. Compounding the issue is the city's reliance on coal-fired power plants located in the surrounding regions. These plants power Jakarta's rapid urbanization and economic growth, but do so at a great environmental cost, spewing sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and other pollutants into the atmosphere. The city's flat, low-lying topography and humid climate also lead to poor air circulation, allowing pollutants to linger and accumulate. The situation has become so dire that the phrase Jakarta is not only sinking at S, also suffocating has become a stark reality for its residents. The combination of extreme traffic, industrial emissions, and unfavorable weather patterns makes breathing clean air in this dynamic city an everyday struggle. 7. Lahore, Pakistan. Moving to number 7, we arrive in Lahore, Pakistan's cultural heart and second largest city. In recent years, Lahore has gained the unfortunate distinction of frequently appearing at the top of lists for the world's worst air quality. The city is often shrouded in a thick, hazardous smog, especially during the winter months. The levels of PM 2.5, the most dangerous type of airborne particulate, regularly soar to levels considered hazardous, often far exceeding the safe limits recommended by the World Health Organization. This severe pollution stems from a confluence of factors. A major contributor is the seasonal practice of crop burning in the surrounding agricultural regions of Punjab, which sends vast plumes of smoke drifting over the city. This is exacerbated by emissions from the city's millions of vehicles, many of which are poorly maintained, and pollution from a wide range of industrial sources, including brick kilns that use outdated and dirty technology. The health impacts are severe and widespread, with a dramatic increase in respiratory infections, asthma, and other chronic diseases. The situation often becomes so critical that the government is forced to shut down schools and advise residents to stay indoors. For millions of residents in Lahore, breathing clean air has become a luxury they can rarely afford, turning a basic human necessity into a daily battle for health. 6. Tehran, Iran. At number 6 is Tehran, the capital of Iran. Like Mexico City, Tehran suffers from a geographical disadvantage, being nestled in a basin at the foot of the Alborz Mountains. This topography traps air and prevents pollutants from escaping, creating a persistent layer of smog that blankets the city for much of the year. What makes Tehran's situation particularly notable is the overwhelming source of its pollution: vehicle emissions. It is estimated that over 80% of Tehran's air pollution comes directly from cars, motorcycles, and buses. The city is home to millions of vehicles, and many of them, along with the fuel they use, do not meet modern environmental standards. This vehicular onslaught releases a constant stream of carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxides, and unburned hydrocarbons into the trapped air. The health consequences for the city's more than 15 million metropolitan residents are dire. There has been a marked increase in chronic respiratory diseases, heart conditions, and various forms of cancer directly linked to long-term exposure to the polluted air. The city's famous Millid Tower is often barely visible through the thick haze, a stark symbol of the environmental crisis. Tehran shows how cars alone can poison an entire city, demonstrating the critical need for sustainable urban transport solutions. 5. Beijing, China. Coming in at number 5 is a city that was once the global symbol of air pollution: Beijing, China. For years, images of Beijing's residents wearing masks against a backdrop of dense, gray smog or air apocalypse were common in international media. The city's pollution was driven by decades of rapid industrialization fueled primarily by coal, coupled with a massive increase in vehicle ownership. Heavy industries located in and around the capital, along with countless coal-fired power plants, pumped enormous quantities of pollutants into the atmosphere. However, Beijing is also a story of change. In response to a domestic public outcry and international pressure ahead of the 2008 Olympics, the Chinese government declared a war on pollution. It has since implemented some of the most aggressive and comprehensive air quality control measures seen anywhere in the world. These include shutting down or relocating heavy industries, transitioning from coal to natural gas for residential heating, and investing heavily in public transport and electric vehicles. As a result, Beijing has seen significant and measurable improvements in its air quality over the past decade. While blue sky days are now more common, the city still faces challenges, especially during winter when weather conditions can trap pollutants. Beijing proves that pollution can be reduced, but only with strong, sustained, and decisive action. 4. Dhaka, Bangladesh. Our fourth most polluted city is Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh. Dhaka is one of the most densely populated cities on Earth, with a staggering number of people crammed into a relatively small area. This extreme density puts immense pressure on infrastructure and the environment. The city's air is a choking mix of dust and toxic emissions. A major source of this pollution is the thousands of brick kilns that operate on the city's outskirts. Many of these kilns use outdated, inefficient technology and burn high-polluting fuels, releasing thick black smoke filled with particulate matter and sulfur dioxide. Another significant contributor is the constant construction boom. The dust from countless unregulated construction sites fills the air, adding to the particulate load. This is combined with emissions from congested traffic and the open burning of waste. The most vulnerable victims of this toxic environment are children. Their developing lungs are particularly susceptible to the harmful effects of air pollution, leading to high rates of pneumonia, asthma, and other respiratory illnesses that can have lifelong consequences. In Dhaka, pollution steals health from the youngest generation, robbing them of their future before it has even properly begun. The daily struggle for survival in this megacity is made infinitely harder by the very air its people have to breathe. 3. Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia at number 3. We traveled to the coldest capital city in the world. Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. The city's air pollution problem is intrinsically linked to its harsh climate. During the long, frigid winters, temperatures can plummet to -40 degrees Celsius. To survive, a large portion of the population, particularly those living in the sprawling Gare districts, traditional tent dwellings on the city's periphery, rely on burning raw coal and even trash and simple stoves for heating and cooking. This practice releases immense quantities of soot, sulfur dioxide, and fine particulate matter directly into the air. Because cold air is dense, it creates a temperature inversion effect, trapping this thick, toxic smoke close to the ground. As a result, Ulaanbaatar's winter air quality frequently reaches levels that are dozens of times higher than the WHO's safety guidelines, often ranking as the worst in the world on any given day. The smog can be so thick that it obscures visibility to just a few meters and carries a pungent, chemical smell. The health impact is catastrophic, leading to soaring rates of bronchitis, pneumonia, and chronic lung disease, especially among children and the elderly. When temperatures drop in Ulaanbaatar, pollution rises to deadly levels, creating a public health crisis that repeats itself every winter. 2. Delhi, India. Our runner-up at number 2 is Delhi, India. The capital territory of India has become tragically synonymous with extreme air pollution. For large parts of the year, the city is enveloped in a thick, acrid haze that turns the sky a murky brown and makes breathing a hazardous activity. Delhi's air quality crisis is a complex, perfect storm of pollution sources. Agricultural burning in the neighboring states of Punjab and Haryana sends massive clouds of smoke over the capital region every autumn. This is combined with relentless emissions from the millions of cars, trucks, and auto rickshaws that crowd its roads. Pollution from heavy industry and power plants surrounding the city, and dust from widespread construction. The city's geography and meteorological conditions, especially in winter, trap these pollutants, creating a toxic dome over its nearly 30 million residents. The PM 2.5 levels regularly spike to severe or hazardous levels, equivalent to smoking multiple packs of cigarettes a day. Life in Delhi has been fundamentally altered by the pollution. Schools are frequently closed, flights are cancelled, and wearing a mask has become a year-round necessity, not just a pandemic precaution. Delhi's air pollution has become a public health emergency, a chronic crisis that shortens lives and diminishes the quality of life for everyone. 1. Kanpur, India. And at the number 1 spot on our list of the most polluted cities in the world is Kanpur, India. Air pollution doesn't respect borders. It affects rich and poor, young and old. The cities on this list, though geographically diverse, share a common story. This is the price of uncontrolled industrial growth and unsustainable lifestyles. But the future is not yet written. Solutions exist. We can transition to renewable energy sources like solar and wind, promote green transportation such as electric vehicles and robust public transit, and implement and enforce strict environmental laws. We can work to create greener cities with more parks and trees to help filter the air we breathe. The challenge is immense, but the cost of inaction is far greater. What about your city? Is the air you breathe safe? Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to Green Earth VN to stand together for a cleaner planet.